Okay, today topics of my lecture is COVID-19 Corona Recession, what economic policy Bangladesh government can take at present moment. So this is a very big burning issue right now for the economy of Bangladesh as well as in all over the world. In this presentation, I am going to explain the topics in four broad arena with following issues. Number one, world economic situation for COVID-19 corona pandemic. Number two, present economic situation of Bangladesh economy. Number three, economic challenges for Bangladesh economy. And number four, policy recommendation. So let's begin with the number one challenges, that is world economic situation for COVID-19 corona pandemic. As you know that economists in all over the world jointly predicted, and they are predicting world is going to lose USD 2.7 trillion and maybe more. OECD prediction lost of 1.5% global GDP growth. China sales has already fell in 13.2% during the January-February period as on Bloomberg. These are the reference from Bloomberg. And organizations are going to bankrupt and people are going to lose their job from private market. So this is a normal phenomenon because when the recession starts in an economy, then the financial institutions normally facing a severe problem because business cycle is seriously affected in an economy, and the low trend of labor supply investment, the economy normally slack down, and this may be happen for many reasons, but now we are talking about the corona pandemic, and that is also shut down or lock down the whole over the world economy, and that is a big challenge. And many economy, especially for the Western European economy, USA, Canada, and Japan, almost 60 to 65% labor have a chance to lose their job. So you understand that what is going to happen in the whole over the world economy. Now I'm going to explain a little bit regarding the present economic situation of Bangladesh. So Bangladesh is a low middle income country, and this country has struggling for poverty for the last 1.5 decades. And we have about 35% people, those who are struggling for hand to mouth, no work, no payment, no food basis. So for this economic situation, Asian Development Bank ADB has already given a prediction, that is Bangladesh will lose USD 3.03 billion, which is equivalent to near 1% loss of GDP. It's a big amount. Then the distribution, almost the ADB is predicting trade and commerce sectors suffer from USD 1.14 billion, agriculture sector loss on USD 630 million, Service sector loss on USD 510 million. Manufacturing and construction sector about USD 400 million. Transport sector about USD 330 million. So as you see, that trade and commerce sector suffer from USD 1.14 billion. And then we are looking for agriculture sector. So government have to rethink about these prime sectors, that how we can boost this economy after the COVID-19 corona pandemic era. Now the third challenge is economic challenges for Bangladesh. So as you know that in our economy, especially for Bangladesh, they are exporting 85% of garments products, and collecting and gaining 85% foreign revenue from this sector, from the world market. And the supply chain of garments raw materials are highly disrupted due to corona spread in China, because a stakeholder of this sector is China, and the corona bath was made in China. So the China is still suffering for the corona spreading. So the garment sector is drastically affected, and they are going to lose the foreign order, and their sales has been declined 25% by this time. At the same time, travel sector, especially Biman Bangladesh, lost 2.5 million by March 2020. And the Cox's Bazar are expecting their worst loss in a decade, as the flow of tourists has gone down dramatically. Because as you know that our service sector providing 52.11% income in terms of GDP distribution. Industries in Bangladesh is 33.66%. Agriculture is 14.23%. So far the service sector is a big area in our growth engine. And the another formal sector, there are some scope to suffer, that is leather industry. And leather industry has taken hit due to over dependency in China. Bangladesh tanneries have failed to get approval from the leather working group LWG, mainly due to lack of central effluent treatment facility at the Sabah tannery state. They often rely on imported leather, which is not forthcoming now, as I explained before. Besides, due to limited scope of exporting leather and leather goods to Europe and USA, China had become a major importer of Bangladesh leather. So as you know that leather sector also depending in the Chinese spread of economy, and as soon as the Chinese economy come to the right track, then the economy of Bangladesh also start supplying their goods and services to the world market. And there is a prediction that we are looking and given by the World Bank for the Asian economy in percentage of real GDP. And here Bangladesh growth rate was 2019. That is, it was before Corona era. That is 8.2%, and the World Bank revised the prediction by this time, and 2020 it will be 2 to 3% real GDP growth, and 2021 1.2 to 2.9%, and 2022 2.8 to 3.9%. And except Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, and Nepal have a positive economic growth trend ranging from 2 to 5%, and others country will experience negative growth rate. And this is also a little bit optimistic for our economy, because our growth trend, as per the prediction of the World Bank, will not be negative. But we have a lot of challenges in the forthcoming days to overcome this situation, and we have to make a proper plan, and that's why I am talking about the policy recommendation of the economy. Then we can suggest encouraging private public partnership project and health insurance policy. As you know that many of the developing countries, they cannot supply health insurance policy, that is absolute health insurance policy, but this is time to think about how we can introduce health insurance policy in the developing country, and what government role can play for enhancing this project in the economy of Bangladesh. And I am expecting that the international organization, especially for the World Bank and IMF and many other international supporting organizations, they can help us to introduce this health insurance policy in our country. And I believe that there are a lot of economists in our country, those who can help the international organization by providing the policy recommendation and papers or any project for enhancing the health insurance policy in Bangladesh. Then I am talking to supporting affected families by offering cash help or income redistribution through the direct transfer. This is drastically required, because our country is about 35% people of our country is now in hand to mouth. If they lose the job, they cannot survive, so they need some transfer. And of course, we have to maintain a very efficient supply chain management, that we can increase the food distribution facilities efficiently and effectively for these poor people. Then we are talking about the creating short-term job opportunities. As soon as the corona pandemic situation will over, we have to create a short-term job opportunities, and that is possible because if the government increase the transfer payments or increasing the government expenditure for various projects, then it it would be possible to adjust the deficit, private deficit, and to increase the growth engine through an efficient process. Reducing tax burden on the sector suffering maximum losses. This is also recommendation. Enhancing liquidity and credit supply for affected farms. Paying back outstanding public sector debt to non-government and private entities. Then taking measure to enhance liquidity of banks and raising volume of the investment. So this is a burning issue, because so far for the last 2 3 years, banking sector is highly affected by bad loans, and this is a big challenge, and they are not efficiently supplying their activities in terms of finance and investment. So we have to increase our governance to the banking sector, encouraging research and development for new innovation to boost international economy. And of course, our research and development is very few, especially in the universities, because most of the universities in our country now in private sector, as well as there are many public sector universities, but government have to take care of this sort of institution to increase the research and development activities, and the corporate sector also come to close to help these sort of universities to support their education efficiently and effectively. Encouraging support, encouraging import substituting policy, the substitution policy, what you say, this is very important because we are importing so many goods from the uh, many countries, from the European, Asian countries, and almost they are machinery goods and raw materials. So we can produce a substitute industry here to support the import substitution policy. And it was taken also in the time of 1971 to 1975 period of that government as soon as our independence. And increase infrastructure for store, warehouse facilities for agricultural goods, because our agricultural sector is highly neglected, and many farmers producing lots of competitive product for the market. But if we can store it, then we can increase the value added products, and if the government start to increase here in some facilities for the agricultural goods, and if the government provides some subsidies or encourage the agro processing industries, then Bangladesh can overcome the corona pandemic situation and deadweight loss of the economy. Reduce inflation by increasing productivity, not by printing money. It is also our suggestion. Extensively focusing on absolute advantage productivity. This is very important because we have some products, especially for leather, jute, tea, that is producing in our country. So we have to focus on it because we can produce by these raw materials a very competitive product and supply to the whole over the world, or export and earn foreign currency. We have to, and reducing dependability on garment sector to boost by themselves by branding internationally. So as you know that our export distribution of goods and services is almost covered by the 85% by the garment sector, but we have another so many sectors, formal and informal sectors. These are textile and garments, leather and leather goods, pharmaceuticals and chemicals, ceramic products, jute and jute goods, IT, agricultural products, frozen food. So these sectors we can boost, and we can increase our export earning distribution for the forthcoming times, and at the same time we can increase our economic growth and productivity. Income redistribution through direct transfer, this is a burning issue normally happening and expecting to the country those who are suffering from economic recession. Increasing efficiency of government support service, because efficiency is very much needed to the government support service. And government also, Bangladesh government also increased the salary of the government employees, and they have a lot of responsibility to train themselves to improve their support service. And government have to focus on this issue, increasing governance through the integrated networking by digitalization and connectivity. So, as I said that there is an IT sector that is booming sector, and we can increase this sector productivity by outsourcing, as because like as garment sector, our labor is very cheap, and if we trained our educated forces, that they can bring foreign currency from outside Bangladesh, and that's need some e-banking facilities, and government can establish a new bank supported by the public capital, that that bank will only work for e-banking both locally and internationally, and that bank should be specialized in this sector. So this is my suggestion. At the same time, increasing 24 hours security to prevent productivity after corona pandemic. This is a big issue because as soon as the corona environment will over, then we have to work hard. We have to work 24 hours, not for 8 hours, to overcome all those lags that we are going to incur for the corona environment. No printing money supply for transfer except capital investment through infrastructure development. That is our suggestion, because it may increase the inflation. So we have to find the way, another way. And if we increase the, if we enhance the inflation tax, then that money may be invested to the capital investment. And by this process, in the long run, we can improve our GDP growth as well as the productivity. Focusing international internet banking to boost outsourcing from Bangladesh. So that is also explained a, a few minutes ago. But I am thinking about, uh, but I am talking about the banking, internet banking. So we have to focus on internet banking regarding many derivatives. So we have to increase so many innovative derivatives to boost our banking sector internationally. So these are the suggestion from us, and especially for myself, for the economy of Bangladesh. Recently, I have boosted a lecture for the student and the well-wishers and policymakers of the Bangladesh government for Bengali. And I focused especially on the garment sector and jute sector, that how we can boost that economy. You can see also that lecture, so that you can combine and understand the whole scenario of the Bangladesh economy to enhance the forthcoming days GDP growth and productivity. So finally, I want to thank all of you, those who are watching my video presentation, and stay at home. That is my request. At the same time, subscribe my channel and push the bell icon, so that I can keep in touch with you. And of course, encourage my efforts for distance learning and distance mode. And thank you very much once again to watch this